so much.
And welcome to our panel for the women of Overwatch. Let's give a round of applause. We have with us Anjali Ramani, voice actress for Symestra. Lucy Pohl, who's the voice actress for Mercy. Carolina Rabasa, voice actress for Sombra. And Andrea Toyais, the senior casting and voice director at Overwatch.
Yeah, I'm Lucy. I voice Mercy, and I basically the way that I ended up at Blizzard was because of Andrea. I mean, I auditioned, but then it all comes down to the wonderful people at Blizzard who create the game and go through hundreds of hours of auditions and find the person or the voice they think is right for the character. So that's how I ended up there.
My story is pretty much the same. I wish it was like a sexier story. Many stories, but it was pretty much like a standard. You audition for the role, and then you try to forget about it, even if you really want to get it. And then with any luck, you get a phone call or something, and then you jump up and down.
Yeah.
Specifically, if you find out it's for Blizzard, because you know it's going to be really good. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hi, I'm Carolina, voice of Sombra. Same. My agency got an audition for someone who needed a Latin accent and speaks some Mexican Spanish lines, and I auditioned and forgot about it. And 2 months later, they said, "You booked this thing," and I didn't remember what it was because it had a different name. And so I was like, "Great!" Didn't really know what it was, and now we're here, which is incredibly exciting. So, yeah.
Well, we don't actually together, except we're actors, so playing and working very fine. But we just spend time together. We last year Andrea and the Blizzard gang, invited us all for a rap party after BlizzCon at the campus, and that's when a lot of us met each other. Lucy wasn't there, unfortunately, so we sought her out and stalked her until she would hang out with us after that. But so that was really the first time a lot of us got to meet and got to be friends, and I think a lot of our friendships stem from the inclusivity of this game, and the people at Blizzard feel like such a family when you walk in. There's no way not to feel embraced by that. So yeah, we don't really haven't yet had a chance to work together, except the stuff that we do, in our own do free time.
But yeah, we record individually every time. I don't know if you guys record anybody together ever, but every time I go into the booth, it's just me being directed by Andrea. So we actually don't work with other actors. We just get along really well because it's a good team.
And get somebody that wants you and knows that you are the character.
Like exactly how you phrased it, sort of.
Oh, geez, you
Or
guys.
bringing our person.
Well, because I was
It's a personal story.
Yeah.
And Andrea is trying to get you into that character.
Because I had decided that I wanted to play, independently spirited alpha females with a cause. And then I booked this, and Andrea asks me, what do you think, what do you feel about Sombra? And that's what I responded. And what I love about Sombra is that, as a Hispanic in the business, I'm constant. I love playing prostitutes, but I constantly audition for, women who have to be okay with nudity and simulated sex, and or immigrant who came over illegally, or drug dealer. Talk about the drugs, Sombra has a dark side, but I love that we can represent properly, and that's the feedback that we've gotten. Is that everybody just loves how diverse it is, but they're all wonderful characters in their own way, and that's what I love about this. I'm not just playing this illegal immigrant character, and that makes me very happy.
Performance. It's a lot like being in a relationship. The more someone accepts to, with everything that you are, it doesn't even say this is good and this is bad. It's everything that you are is a part of what makes you uniquely you. And everything that each one of these characters have is a part that makes them uniquely them. So every single line that we're giving, I don't necessarily consciously know what part of my experience I've pulled up to affect a certain emotional connection to something. And sometimes it's just like, don't fall down. So it's not really particularly emotional. But there's some kind of
emotional with the turns.
But well, they're not my babies. I'm like, okay, just don't mess with my babies. But there are connections to specific, I don't know, specific experiences that I was taught very early on. Don't necessarily verbalize all of your acting secrets, the things that you hang on to, because sometimes you fight verbalizing when you miss them. Whereas here, we walk into that booth and I'm just like, you as you are correct. You are the thing. So just go play with the thing. It doesn't matter what comes out of it. And like she said too, as an actor, I think our job as actors of color, or whatever we want to call it these days, I don't even like to call it. Our job is not to aim for diversity and representation and Noah's Ark, one of everything, and not that, or two, but to aim for inclusivity and to aim for everybody belongs in this world with all of their complexity. And there happen to be these things that I can look at this character and say, okay, she's Indian, she does this, she does unique hustle dance, blah, 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 but no one of those things define her. She is the only thing that defines her. This is the only thing that defines her. This is the only thing. And so, it's a really long way around saying this game has given us agency to help that process by focusing past the two-dimensional versions of things that we might be used to having to do on, say, network television or other places. Now we have the freedom to build complexity.
Games will change.
Impersonations, and I say that's great, but if you really want to do this, like bring out yourself or bring out other characters you create in yourself, your child voice, your little mushroom voice, whatever they are for cartoons, But in person, a lot of us can't do impersonations, and it doesn't matter. It's more like what are you bringing to the table, and that's what Andrea's talking about. It's more about that than about like my Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Awesome. Before we
Sorry, I just have to play devil's advocate for 1 second, because I love doing that. Don't listen to anything anybody says and do it your way.
Right.
There's no right or wrong in
That's
this
right.
business, so.
Before we cut to Q&A, let's watch our final clip of Mercy and Symestra.
Like exactly how you phrased it, sort of.
Oh, geez, you
Or
guys.
bringing our well, because I was
It's
thinking
a
about
story.
yeah.
And Andrea is trying to get you into that character.
Because I had decided that I wanted to play, independently spirited alpha females with a cause, and then I booked this, and Andrea asked me, what do you think? What do you feel about Sombra? And that's what I responded. And what I love about Sombra is that, as a Hispanic in the business, I'm constant. I love playing prostitutes, but I constantly audition for, women who have to be okay with nudity and simulated sex, and or immigrant who came over illegally, or drug dealer. Talk about the drugs, Sombra has a dark side, but I love that we can represent properly, and that's the feedback that we've gotten. Is that everybody just loves how diverse it is, but they're all wonderful characters in their own way, and that's what I love about this. I'm not just playing this like illegal immigrant character, and that makes me very happy. So.
It's been weird. I've had some really sad moments with
That's so fun. I love it.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, I love that.
That was one of them right there. Death by chair.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Like, okay, this is death by being crushed.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Now you're falling off a cliff, but you hit something on the way down. So make that
You're
sense.
burning, but then you freeze.
Yeah. I will say that thank God, Andrea and the folks at the recording session are completely understanding how difficult, just technically difficult, it is to go through and do all of those, because you can be in sessions, in other sessions where they just have you screaming for hours, or not hours, or until you blow your cords out. Whereas they're very, very
safe, that you don't feel like you can do anything wrong with your actors or constantly, am I doing it right, and am I going to get fired, and I don't get fired, and oh my god, I just want to please them. And she really takes that away, to the point that I remember in my callback, I mean, just if you close your eyes and say, Andrea just take in her voice is like, oh my god, it's like the smoothest, I don't know what. It's amazing. Yes. Basically. And I remember at the callback, and like we were talking to me saying, that's so wonderful. And I thought, is she mocking me? Because like it's so amazing and she's making me feel so great and so safe that it's almost like it can't be real. You know, like I couldn't believe it because I'd never experienced it. And then when I realized it is real, because I got the part, I felt so safe. And I think that's so important for actors because then, or for anybody, when you feel safe, you open up.
Because we don't see Andrea, we just listen to her via headset. So we're just kind of playing on it.
Because they're in New York, I'm in LA.
Yeah.
To record remotely.
I try to take it. Read your lips, we're talking all night.
So yeah, you open up and then sometimes, you know, things happen that you can't even really explain in words. Things that you kind of, you know, that come out. You can't, I mean, for me, I can't really put my finger on it, you know, but when you feel that safe space, things happen. And they're in the moment. And then, but that's what you end up hearing. And I think that's what is so strong for people to connect to because it's real. Because it really happened in that moment. Just go and do it and cast as wide of a net as possible. Try to find ways to do it at home. There's such good, you know, apps and softwares that you can use to test things out and hear your voice and record, go to workshops with great people. You know, for me, I studied acting and that of course helped. Taking breathing workshops to develop your instrument is great, but just go out and try to do whatever you can and the path will clear for you after a while, you know, and things will start sticking. But I think that in the beginning it's just about getting out there and trying everything you can to try to, gain experience and learn how to use your voice and learn what other people are doing and just see that goal and don't think too much about how to get there. Just, you know, go for it. Whatever, whichever way is open to you at the moment, no matter where you live, you know.
I think you have to find out if you like it, first of all. You know, I think we have ideas of what voice acting is, and first of all, discover if you like acting. You know, I think they go hand in hand. I just call myself an actor that happens to also do voice work, you know. Do a summer stock theater, you know, like do theater in your local school or wherever, and if you love it, then go, you know, pursue it. I just feel like if you don't love this career, you're gonna hate yourself because it really is hard to get your first gig or get any gigs, you know. And we've been doing this for years, and then Overwatch came along, and we were lucky enough to book it, you know. Or I mean, yes, we've put in all the work for years, but it's a really hard, grueling career, and if you don't have the drive and persistence, it's gonna burn you out. And I don't want to sound negative, but it's just, we work our butts off, you know. For years we've been, I mean, Lucy does a one-woman show, you know. That is so much hard work. And it's all of the pieces being put together after years and years of it. So if you love it, do it. If you don't, go do something else.
Yeah. I would say two main things that I've recently distilled it down to. One, focus as much on what you are and what you have as this particular instrument, and less on what you think the rest of the world wants you to be. Because every audition room I have walked into trying to figure out what they want has been But when you walk into a room and you're like, this, I got you. I got you for the next 10 minutes, however long we're here. Worst case scenario, you'll be entertained. Best case scenario, your job is done for you. Because I brought you something that no one else has that might work for you. So, and I think as a younger actor, I was so worried about doing it right and not realizing that doing it right is just doing it uniquely. And sometimes that suits the character and sometimes it doesn't. And if you've been cast at it, it's you. That's what they've got. The other thing is that I do have a sort of life mission at the same time to encourage people to do that. And to be as much of themselves and celebrate that as much as possible, because the more we feel okay with ourselves, the more open we are to other people. And that's how I feel like one-on-one we can encourage inclusivity. Because exclusivity happens when people are scared of each other or think they're less than or anything like that. And so the more we can represent that in the world as actors, it becomes a life mission rather than a job. It becomes something that can sustain you and sustain other people and helps them to experience things that they can't. It becomes exciting rather than grueling. And then when there is a rejection, quote unquote, it just means not right now. It doesn't mean no, it means not now, not this. There's something else. There's always something else because somewhere this fits. I don't know where, but somewhere it fits. You just have to find that space. And so yeah, using everything that you have and learning everything. There is no form of education that you can have as an actor that will not serve you. There's no experience that will not serve you as a performer because you are bringing everything that you are to every character. So learn anything you're passionate about, anything at all.
Do what you love.
Yeah. That's a much shorter way to say it, so yes. That was eloquent and concise.
But whatever you think are your weaknesses are actually your strengths, you know, I think that's really what it is. And yeah, I mean, for me, that's the biggest thing I learned, you know, oh, I wasn't born in this country, and, you know, some people say, oh, you have no accent. Other people say, oh, I can totally hear the accent. I try to, you know, not have an accent, and worry about that, and, you know, all these things that I thought were my weaknesses always. And that's basically what my show is about. I've really, you know, I'm German, I'm Jewish, what am I, like, where do I fit in? Oh, I have to be this one thing. No, like, I totally, you know, a girl called me the other day, a young actress, she was like, I have really bad acne, I can never be an actor. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it, right? Sorry. Excuse me. There you go. I don't know, write a web series about a girl that, you know, goes through life dealing with that. Maybe it's your strength, you know, and people will relate to that and never ever think that you should be any other way, as Anjali says, you know, because those are the things that make you unique, and that's what everybody's looking for. People that are unique, and that's what the game is.
The true enemy of humanity is disorder.
Oh shit.
Defensive matrix established. Shield engaged. Teleport online. I have opened the path.
And with that, I think we can open it up to Q&A.
It's stream and game.
I'm out in the front row with, I'm sorry, there we go. Your Q&A.
I've been gaming for a while. I actually played semi-professionally Super Smash Brothers. And I also am a huge fan of Overwatch. I love playing Overwatch a lot. And I've also been really interested in voice acting, so this is actually pretty awesome. But my main question is, in terms of like women in gaming, which is great that there's a lot of push for women in gaming, and I love seeing the inclusiveness of all this diversity, but I still feel like there's a lack of Black women in gaming, which is kind of unfortunate. And like I said, I've been involved in gaming often, a lot, and I just don't really see Black women as characters in games. And even in Overwatch, I still feel like there's kind of a lack of that. I'm just wondering, is there any